Season 2, Episode 70 of One Man's Opinion. Today I am reviewing the Broadway revival of Henrik Ibsen's proto-feminist play, A Doll's House, starring Jessica Chastain and directed by Lloyd, playing through June 10th at the Hudson Theater at 141 West 44th Street in New York City. Yeah, I know Ibsen said he didn't write A Doll's House to be a feminist piece, but sometimes things become what they are regardless of the intent of its creator. And it's just a fact that Nora's journey of self-discovery in her marriage with her husband Torvald is a journey of empowerment in a patriarchal world. This is a new adaptation written by Amy Herzog, trimming the play from its original length of 3 acts at about 3 hours to 1 act at almost 2 hours. The changes don't change things too much. The overall feel of the text remains honest to the original Ibsen, or at least the translations that I've read. This version of A Doll's House, or at least Lloyd's vision of A Doll's House, is a very minimalist version that may rub audiences who have a long affection for the play the wrong way, who are expecting a lush set depicting the home of a late 19th century Norwegian middle-class house. Instead, we have a bare turntable stage with a handful of chairs. That's it. There are no props, no costume changes. Now, I'm not opposed to this. I enjoy minimalist theater when done right. Here, though, Lloyd has made some unorthodox decisions that don't work. The play feels like Lloyd was so preoccupied with metaphor through the minimalist concept that he forgot that an audience needs to see people act against each other sometimes. Not that I'm one who needs a play to be realistic. I'm totally open for surrealism or absurdism or any other theatrical ism. It's just that in this situation, it doesn't work. But let's talk about what A Doll's House is about, and maybe I can interject some examples along the way. The play opens with Chastain, who plays Nora Helmer, sitting down on a chair that slowly rotates around the stage on the turntable. This starts about 15 minutes before curtain. She never stands up from her chair except for the denouement of the play. There is one moment when she falls off while practicing for a dance, but she doesn't really stand up from it. That's one of those weird moments where you're kind of like, why is she dancing entirely in a seated position? It is completely illogical. It's an interesting choice, giving Nora a position of weakness, being seated in a chair the entire time and never standing up for herself, but the metaphor is a bit too on the nose, and it debilitates the play from having stronger interactions between Nora and the other characters. The most egregious moments of this happening is between Nora and Nils Krogstad, played by Okriete Onaudoan. I apologize if I completely mispronounced that. Nora has taken a loan from Krogstad without knowing or approval from her husband Torvald, played by Arjen Moyed. The loan was to pay for a trip to Italy to improve Torvald's health, which works. And Nora had forged her father's signature on the promissory note to get the money. Torvald is being promoted at the bank where he and Krogstad work. Torvald knows of Krogstad's loan sharking and intends to fire him. Krogstad intends to blackmail Nora to influence Torvald to keep Krogstad from losing his job. If she doesn't do what he says, he'll reveal the forged document to Torvald, who is a person of ultimate righteous moral character, or at least he perceives himself to be one. And this would devastate Torvald and likely make him lose his job, regardless of Nora's good intentions with the money, allowing Krogstad to potentially move up in authority at the bank. The scene where Krogstad confronts Nora is staged with Krogstad sitting behind Nora, with Nora downstage facing the audience and him facing upstage. The entire scene plays out this way, and it's a horrible idea. It completely takes away the intimidation factor of having Krogstad confronting her, and it removes any kind of direct interaction between the two characters. So much of acting is reaction, and we can't see any of it from Krogstad's point of view. Much of the dialogue in the play is spoken with as little projection as possible, like they are whispering with each other, which is another odd choice. I mean, I get that there are a lot of secrets being kept between characters, but this isn't necessary. It weakens the tension in scenes that are intended to have grander conflict, and it also makes the actors look like they don't know how to act on stage and project. The one moment that I feel is an excellent choice is the final beats of the play, which I obviously won't reveal. It drew awe, laughter, and cheer from the audience just in the audacious decision by Lloyd to end the play how he does, and I loved it. The cast is good, in spite of the confounding preoccupation with metaphorical imagery over character conflict. Chastain, in particular, was radiant, and I hope she gets all the nominations she can get for this because they are deserved. Her ability to express restraint in her choices to fit the context of Lloyd's vision is exemplary. Her Nora isn't as vapid as the character can sometimes be portrayed. Yes, she does have the naive quality of a woman who has been treated as a toy doll more than a human being her entire life, but she gives Nora an intelligence that is evolving through the entire play, growing like a flower that has suffered through a lengthy drought and suddenly revived with life-giving water. It's beautiful to behold. The rest of the cast is solid. I love Michael Patrick Thornton's portrayal of the family doctor, Dr. Rank, whom he gives a touch of tender tragedy. His last scene with Chastain is my favorite of the night. Moyed has his ups and downs with Torvald. I think most of it has to do with the direction. When he's given the opportunity to really let his character emote and act toward whomever else is on stage, he really shines. The rest of the cast face similar issues, especially the aforementioned Onao, who spends so much time in shadow, it's a wonder if he even has to act and just line read half the time. But I don't blame him, that's a directing choice. A Doll's House is very uneven. I was intrigued by the concept initially, but the staging and directing became too preoccupied with representation of drama versus just letting the drama happen. The cast did the best with what they were told to do, and that should be commended. If you're going to see A Doll's House, see it for them, especially Chastain, who gives one of the best performances of the year. But I am only one man's opinion, so be sure to leave yours in the comments below. If you'd like to see A Doll's House, I'll leave a link in the description where you can order tickets. If you missed my last review because you only watch my Broadway reviews, which I respect, I made an announcement that I have launched my Patreon page. If you'd like to become a patron, I'll leave a link to the page in the description. You can also support my channel by liking, sharing, and subscribing, and click the notification bell to be alerted to future reviews. My next review will be Music Theater of Connecticut's production of The Rocky Horror Show. Thank you very much for watching, and I will see you at the theater.